Business Brain, episode 760 for Wednesday, June 10th, National Ballpoint Pen Day 2026.
I'm a fan of the ballpoint.
You know, it reminds me of National Tailor Day, though, Shannon. Like, talking
when's the
about
last time you bought a ballpoint pen?
When was the last time? I realized the other day, I actually made a joke, that the ballpoint pens that I have and the staples that I have, they were a parting gift when I left Citibank.
Wow.
Which was in 1995. So
that's crazy.
The joke I made was that I would, when I ran out of staples, that's when I would know it was time to retire. But
that's classic.
The same with ballpoint pens, right? Like we don't buy them anymore. And to be fair,
yes, I have a Mont Blanc, and that's but I got them at an auction. I bought about 200 of them, and I sold every single one, and I kept one. That's the last, and that was probably 5 years ago.
Yeah. Okay.
And there seems to be a bucket of them around my house in drawers and everything else, but I don't recall ever purchasing one.
Yeah, I probably will buy a ballpoint pen before I buy staples. Just because I do write things. Like I actually do have a pen that my wife gave me for our anniversary, for our platinum anniversary, whatever that was, and it has like platinum in the pen or whatever.
Nice.
And I keep that at my desk, and I use it when I need to. Like I do have some paperwork stuff that I do, but like I'm not writing anything out longhand.
No.
So it takes a long time for me to burn through a cartridge on that. So yeah.
It's fascinating.
It's fascinating. You had an interesting topic, Shannon. You and I'm curious what you mean by this. So
there's some good memes I like to think about when most of my life and work is online, has been for a long time, and it's kind of gotten more and more over the past few years. And one of those memes is from Succession, where I forget the guy's name, Kendall, I think is the character was. He tells somebody you're too online. You're too online. And the other one that I like, it's not really, I guess it's a meme now, but is from The Shining, where Jack Nicholson's character types out all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, right? Over and over.
I believe he types it more than once. Yeah, that's right.
Yes, thousands of times. And I kind of feel that way. Sometimes I find myself too online, and I find myself getting, just kind of dulled by the routine. I'm not a fan of routine, but it does happen to us. And you get there and you jump online, you're this, I'm on X, I'm on this, I'm on that, I'm doing this in the community, I'm all that. And so I was thinking about it this weekend for me to be, it's not happy, because I'm very happy, but it's fulfilled, or to feel more balanced, I need a mix of the digital and the analog. And what I mean by analog is this weekend I got to be outside, and I had used my chainsaw, and I borrowed one of my neighbor's chippers, and I chipped a bunch of stuff that I cut, and I had to focus. I couldn't look at my phone. I'm addicted to that, just like everybody else. And I had earplugs in, and I had like a face mask because I was just doing all this crazy stuff. And it just pulls me away from the typing and the whisper sync or whisper flow and all that stuff. It's important. And I just realized after I was doing that for 3-4 hours, and I was sweaty and my arm hurt, and I'm all scratched up from the branches. It's like, this is really cool. I love this.
Yep.
And it's important to me to jump out of this digital realm and to, there's another, they always say touch grass, right? Similar kind of thing. You got to get away from it sometimes. It's really important. It's
so important. And I think it's the reason that, that our computer overlords won't take over, right? Because we as humans, we're very addicted to technology. It makes us more productive most of the time, right? I mean, there's a lot of benefits to it, but there are downsides, and we all hit that point, each of us in different ways, where it's like this isn't right now. I need to go and, like you said, touch grass. I had the same experience this weekend. We spent some time. We had a huge storm. Actually, it was Friday night that we had the storm, but I didn't realize it until Saturday night, that all this stuff had come down in our driveway. So we spent some time on on Friday, just raking it on Sunday rather, just raking it up and like cleaning it. It's like, oh man, it's so nice. And then Saturday night I had a gig where we played. It's somewhat atypical show for us, where we were booked to play for 2 hours, and I said to the guys, I'm like, from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. and I said, in this town where we are, whenever we stop for the first time is when 80% of the people are going to leave. I said, so my right, because like if we take a break, it's over. They're gone.
It's interesting.
And I said, so like we should play 2 hours straight through. We should not take a break. Yeah. And everybody was in agreement. It was like, oh yeah, good call. It's okay that we did it, and it worked out great. Like, it was, but
smart. Playing
for 2 hours, completely immersed. Yeah. I do wear my Apple Watch because I like to get credit for all the exercise,
swinging around. And,
sure,
all that exercise. That's true.
Yeah. But I'm in do not disturb mode, right?
Yeah.
Like the worst thing that could happen to me would be to get a text while on stage.
Oh yeah, forget it.
To be a disaster. Yeah. So, so I don't, and I'm just in it, and I'm immersed in playing and singing and thinking about the songs, and it's one of my favorite things, and one of my favorite ways to detach, because playing music can be all-consuming. There are times when I'm playing something boring, and I've watched a football game on the screen, and it's like, someday this gig will be over, But most gigs aren't like that. Most of the time, it's like,
I think the word you used I like is is immersion. Yeah. Is sometimes you need to really dive deep in the digital realm.
For sure.
I like too. Building something, creating an app, creating a website, working on a community, making a logo, whatever. And that's an interesting topic about AI stealing that from us. We should talk about it sometime.
Okay.
But I love that too. And I love getting immersed in a book and just losing myself in reading, going down the rabbit hole in some other story, right? That's not my life. And also the analog part, really working outside and tearing things up. But I don't want to do any of them full time.
Right.
Any of them.
Right.
And I like if I'm up at our river house and I'm just busting my butt every day, and I'm just like, I got to get out of here. It's just too much. I need to get back and sit at my desk. And so it's just that balance. I've come to appreciate it more, and I could feel that I was kind of out of whack with being too much in front of a screen, whether it's this one or my phone or whatever it is. So getting to unhook, and we're going to Tahoe on Wednesday for a few days and get out of here. So I'm really looking forward to it.
That's good. Yeah, it's important. It's important.
I think so.
All right. Yeah. I want to talk about nothing, Shannon, and so we're going to do that in a minute. But first, I want to talk about our sponsors. And let me ask you something. If somebody walked into your office right now and said, hey, hand me your client list, your contracts, and your login credentials, you'd say absolutely not, right? We're all on the same page about that? Good. But every day, scammers send emails that do pretty much exactly that, and they're getting frighteningly good at it. The one I've been watching, fake vendor invoices. We got one. We actually tried to pay it. Thankfully, we were stopped by our bank. They look identical to the real ones. The right logo, the right format, slightly different bank routing number. Your bookkeeper approves it. Money moves. And by the time anybody catches it, the payment is gone. And this, folks, is where our sponsor, Bitdefender, earns its reputation. Bitdefender is a global leader in cybersecurity, and their ultimate small business security is purpose-built for teams of 25 or fewer who are building something real without a dedicated security department. What I really like is that you get AI-powered scam protection that spots these attacks before they reach anyone on your team, plus business reputation monitoring, password management, unlimited VPN, and a dashboard so clean, it makes me feel like I actually have my act together. And that, my friends, it's a powerful feeling. Keep your small business safe with Bitdefender Ultimate Small Business Security and save 30% when you go to bitdefender.com/brain. That's bitdefender.com/brain for 30% off. Check it out. I think you're really going to like it. And our thanks to Bitdefender for sponsoring this episode. All right, Shannon. Nothing is a valid event on the calendar.
Okay.
Yep. I was talking to my strawberry business coach,
Yes.
and we were talking about I I sometimes overcommit myself, Shannon.
What? I did too.
And I don't just do it like in my like business life that we talk about here. I do it with gigs too. Somebody will text me and be like, "Hey, are you available for a gig on the 11th?" And I'll look and just say yes. And I only say yes because I'm available. Like I don't have anything on the 11th.
Yeah.
But if I were to look at, say, the 13th, the 14th, the 15th, the 16th, and the 17th, I would realize I need to not play, and I need to not have to learn 30 songs for a gig on the 11th because I need to learn 30 songs for a gig on the 13th, and then again on the 15th. And but I don't do that. And so he had actually two things. The nothing is a valid event on the calendar. That I'll actually take credit for. But he said, why not leverage the power of the pause? And I said, say more. And he said, great. When somebody, because we entrepreneurs, we get initially when we start our businesses, doesn't matter if it's, a business doing landscaping, business playing music, a business selling ads on the internet, whatever it is, doesn't matter. When we start our businesses, we learn to say yes to every single client that shows up, even if they're a bad client. Like we just say yes because we need cash flowing. That's the health of a business, right? So cash flowing, great. You get the but then that doesn't go away, right? That fear of not having the phone ring again stays with you, and then you say it's hard to say no. You wind up saying yes to more things than you probably would if you could go back in time and change those decisions. And so his as advice, which I love and am happy to share, is the power of the pause. Instead of saying yes, like when a gig comes in for me, it's thank you for the opportunity. I'd love to do that. Let me check my calendar. And then I added to it, can I get back to you? Is 48 hours long enough? Soon enough? Like setting some expectations so they don't think you're just being a flake. And also so that, you're showing respect for their time. And sometimes they'll say, no, I need to know in 12 hours. Okay, I will let you know in 10 then,
sure.
Whatever it is, but figure that out. And then actually use that time to not, because I can look at my calendar and tell you if I'm available on the 11th, right? But that's not the question I need to answer for myself.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's easy to say no if they're like, are you available on the 11th? And I've already got something. It's like, no, that's easy. But the yes is like, well, what's the cost of that yes?
Yeah.
And nothing is an acceptable event to put on the calendar and leave there. And that occupies time.
Yeah, this is one of the problems I have with auto calendars, like Calendly. Your link gets out there. And yes, you set rules and you can be pretty specific about like space in between them. But boy, man, if your book anytime or whatever discovery call link is out there and it starts getting posted and shared, all of a sudden you look at I would look at my calendar and be like, wait, what's happening here this week? It's like
what's
boom,
happening?
boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I may be free at noon on Mondays when we record, but I need to prep because I need to do this and do that. And I don't want to have to block out every single minute to protect myself on the calendar. So I killed that link. That was when it got too far. I was like, oh, it's like changing your cell phone number. So I killed that. And then I'm sparingly, I give out that link here. Yeah. Okay. Please do not share this link. Go ahead and book a time. Yeah. So it doesn't get out too much, but I agree. It's, protecting your time and not feeling, I read a post over the weekend and somebody said, are you really enjoying your Sunday off or are you worried about what you should be doing? Right. And I thought, wow, that's really important because if you're concerned about you should be working and doing this and you're out trying to get some analog time or whatever. They're doing nothing. It takes the joy out of it and probably introduces stress that, is not good for you.
Yeah, you're not getting the benefit of the downtime.
You're not getting that benefit. So
yeah.
and I will say, I struggle with this.
Of course you do. Like we all do. Yes.
Giving myself permission to be like, all right, so I time block it. I'm like, okay, I'm going to read from, like, I know after we're recording, 4 episodes of this. After this recording, I'm going to be like, okay, I need a minute. I need 20 minutes. I just need to sit. I've got a couch. I'm going to stop. I'm going to read, and then I'll get back into work, So it's important to give yourself permission to do that.
It is. Yeah. I don't get I don't get to do that. I get maybe 20 minutes after we finish, and then I have to play yacht rock songs for 4 hours. But
that's awesome, though.
That's
different. You're immersing in something else. Yeah.
It's a change. Yes, it is. It is equally intense.
That shift. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
But yeah. So, yep.
No, it's great.
All right. What's this episode's big takeaway, Shannon? I think it's to me, and I have recency bias with this because I'm just like re-embracing this concept, but this idea that nothing is a valid event on the calendar. I think
I agree with you 100% on that, and because I can tell you it's difficult for me to keep those nothing spaces available.
That's the problem. Is it's like, well, yeah, I have nothing on for Thursday, but man, this gig would be fun. It'd be great to see Jack again.
Yes.
You know what? I'll sacrifice the couch.
But sometimes I look at, but when I look and I have a free day on my calendar, I'm just like, woohoo.
Oh yeah.
And I'm thinking, wow, I can really get stuff done. And so I'm protective of that. I think it's really important.
I agree. Thanks for hanging out with us, folks. We are always thankful that you are here with us. And feedback at businessbrain.show, and we'll see you on Friday.